Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines Mass Transit here on JBPG City. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've started zoning in or building the next sort of major expansion residence-wise. So what I've done over here, first of all, we'll start this little bit here, is I've just kind of filled in this gap that we had here. So just put in some little side roads here to try and help move traffic around a little bit better, because we don't have a direct connection from here to the freeway without sort of coming back out this way here and then to the roundabout. So we've now got kind of a link here where it goes over that bit of freeway there, over the tunnel there, and it also connects over there as well. It also links up our solar plant. And then we had this kind of natural little valley here, and I thought that'd be great to have a little scenic road just running down and following the terrain like that. So that kind of loops around there and links up with the stuff that we've got running down to the water facility just there, and then just zoned in everything in the middle there as well. So it's all been connected up with water pipes. It just needs to have the right, zoning for housing, commercial, etc., plonked in. And then over here, this is where the big change is. So keeping to the same kind of grid pattern that I've done for this section here, we're going to have another large block of high density just here as well. And once all this is kind of up and in place, then we can start looking at putting our metro system in to service this area and run across to the station. Still haven't done anything over here because I still need to figure out how I'm going to bring the railway over into this section, and we can't really do that until we unlock this tile here. So we need to get a population of 75,000 for that. We're not too far away, as you can see. We're at just over 70,000, so 4,500 more people in the city, and we'll get there. And we're not too far away from getting that right now. We are getting some sewage issues in that far area over there, so it looks as though our system over here is a little overloaded. So let's make a little change. Let's pause this for a second. Let's go into terraforming, and I want to level the terrain. So I'm going to set my level. I'm going to peel this section away. Let's just make it a bit stronger so it goes a bit faster. There we go. And we can smooth all that out again in a moment. And I want to do the same over here if I can as well. Just take it out a little bit more. So let's level this out a touch. Look at it extending our water pipe out here just a little bit if I can. We'll need to rebuild a little flood wall along there in case we do ever get another tsunami. So let's take this power connection out for a second. Let's reposition this ever so slightly on the end there. And then I want to go to my troughs here. I want a narrow, shallow trough, because that's what we're using here. I just want to extend this out ever so slightly. That's going to go too much, isn't it? Can I bring a side piece off there? Yes, I can, which means I can take that piece out, and now I can take that out. There we go. I might even take a little bit more of that out as well. Let's put another sewage building in just here. One thing I found as well, a way to kind of fine-tune this is to rotate the camera. You rotate the camera and it just moves the position ever so slightly. You can see it's just moving. You can see the spacing changes. So that's a good way to kind of try and fine-tune things rather than trying to move the left stick, which ends up doing quite, you know, jerky movements. You just rotate the camera a little bit and it'll give you the ability to try and at least fine-tune a touch. So that's about as close as we can get. There we go. I don't want to put anything on this side because, again, I want to have that flood wall there. And let's put one on here, which is why we reworked it over here as well. Again, just rotating the camera to fine-tune. There we go. So, let's go into terraforming again. Take that piece out. I'm going to take that piece out as well, and then now I can redraw it to the length that I actually want it to be, hopefully. Oh, no, I can't because I've just plonked this in. Okay, we'll destroy that. Let's try this again. Oh, now this is in the way. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to destroy them. We could just reposition them, but money's not an object, so there we go. As you can see, $2.5 million. We're not struggling for cash at all, so we can afford to be quite brutal when it comes to things like that. There we go. So I want the pipes. I need to tear up the pipes if I can. That pipe seems to be floating in midair. There we go, we'll do that. That pipe up into the hill a little bit just to give us full coverage on that little corner. Also, we need to connect this one up as well. There we go. So now we have 2 new plants. Obviously, we've replaced one of these completely. So 2 new plants to help increase our sewage treatment. So we need to go back into terraforming and rebuild those flood walls now. Make sure that we don't suffer when the waves set in. There we go. And then do the same just to fix this bit over here. Straighten that out a bit, and then I'm just going to soften that ever so slightly. Oh, that's too much. There we go. Soften the terrain, or slope terrain. Let's go with slope terrain. Let's knock the strength down a bit as well. Okay, no, that's not working. It is the softened terrain I want. There we go. Just a little bit of smoothing that off to try and create a little bit more of a natural kind of edge rather than a straight cut in the rock face. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's just do the same over here. Just soften that out a bit. like that. Excellent. There we go. So that's sorted out our water treatment issues. That's sitting a little bit higher than the other one. I'm not quite sure why, but it is what it is. Oh, that one's very high. Look at that. Must be sitting at a different height. Oh well, never mind. I can come in and I can mess around with that a bit if I need to. Oh, that might be why, actually. Yeah, look at the terrain there. Alright, let's... try and take that down a bit. I'm not quite sure why that's happened. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. Although, yeah, that's actually that is bugging me. Let's set that as a lower level by the look of it. Yeah, there we go. Let me try repositioning it, see if that works. If I plonk it there and then relocate it back again. Yeah, it sits up very high there for some reason. And then drops back down again there. I wonder if it's the trough height. It's hard to tell when there's water in the way. Alright, let's put it back where it was. Alright, does that need to be reconnected or is it still connected? Yeah, it needs to be reconnected, I think. There we go. Right, so, bit of a weird anomaly, that sticking all the way up like that, but what can we do? Short of completely redeveloping that area, I think we're going to keep that problem, so... right, I think we're ready to start putting some stuff in over here, so let's zone in some new blocks. Take the power cables out. I want to go select because again I want to avoid having stuff on the main road itself. That'll just help ease traffic issues on there if we don't have, you know, stuff constantly pulling in to park on the side of these roads. That will help keep traffic flowing a little bit better, I think. There we go, so we've got a nice little commercial front just there. I think that's enough for now. Let's go ahead and let that stuff start to zone in. Checking I haven't got power issues. Nope, and that's dealt with the sewage issues. That's good. So I'm surprised the commercial hasn't started zoning because we do have a demand for that. Oh, well, we've actually got some residential coming in first. Here comes the commercial. We want some more offices as well. Let's go back to Phil and start putting in some offices. And I'm not sure what I want to do with this little bit over here for now, because again it's right on the edge of this tile that we're still waiting to unlock. So until that gets gets claimed, I don't really want to start dedicating what I was going to do with this area, because that may well end up going, well, it will go across the river with a bridge or two over there. So we'll just kind of leave that like that for now. Eventually we'll probably bring a road off here down and connect that way. In fact, let's do that now before I forget. There we go. So we've got these buildings without power at the moment. That's just because there's nothing nearby that is on the zoned in on the grid. As soon as this commercial continues to expand across, it should hopefully tag these buildings. You can see they're a little isolated at the moment, but they are getting there. And there we go. We now have a connected grid. So we are just short. So we need to put a little connection there. There we go. So let's start looking at upgrading our road to triple lane. I think we're going to need to. Like that, and then run double all the way down there to the industrial. It's actually a little close to the roundabout. Might take that junction out. That could cause some queues. We'll keep an eye on it, but it may well be that it's traffic lights very, very close to the exit of the roundabout, so I'm a little concerned that we may possibly get some big queues. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Let's check our freeway. Should start to see a lot of residential traffic spilling in, and we are. You can see that's whizzing down here. Over to this area. We are having some collection issues over here. Just not getting vehicles over here quick enough. So, as a temporary measure, let's add in a recycle plant over here. Let's put 2 in. And they are connected. I was going to say I'll need to put a small piece of cabling in to connect them up, just to provide that little bit of extra power, but that's already done it for us. In a way, it's kind of a shame that you can't assign certain buildings to work certain districts. As it is, they just kind of go wherever they need to. So this area could be completely cleared, and then there could be, you know, waste going on over here in, say, Haworth Heights. It's piling up, and then, you know, trucks from here would start going over towards Haworth Heights, which would mean that it would start building up again in Manor Hills. It's just, you can't say only work this area. It's a bit of a shame. Who knows, maybe a future update will give us some kind of functionality like that. I don't even know if it exists on the PC outside of maybe a mod. That might be just you know, me thinking, you know, too far ahead. So let's start tidying up this area with some additional office buildings. Just kind of run a border around here like that. I'm watching our population creeping up as well, which is good. As I say, at 75,000 we will hit the next unlock if we go to Milestones. There you can see we'll unlock the airplanes and the airport, and more importantly we'll unlock a new tile. And then all that's left is 90,000, which will give us the final tile, tile number 9. It'll give us access to monuments and the international airport as well. I'm not sure if I want to go with an international airport or just a regular one. We'll see. I suppose we could possibly do one of each. I've been toying with the idea of maybe having the airport on this block just here. I don't know yet. We'll have to think about that. I could even have it over here, perhaps. You never know. At some point, these turbines are going to get removed, or just moved, and this road will run along and cross over just here. We'll probably have to do a little bit of height work, sculpting over here, so that we can get a nice big bridge across there, and then that will link up here. And again, we'll just be creating that kind of ring road effect that goes around various parts of our city and allows for multiple access points to each district, or certain districts. We need to zone this in as well, don't we? Let's start dropping in some low density stuff. I'm going to put a little block of commercial in here. And then go back to residential around here. And I'm not sure if I want to have houses running down there. I don't think I do. Maybe just on this edge, just here, on that corner. Zone this bit here. Kind of like the idea of having a few small offices in this block just here. Here we go. Let's paint this as a district as well. So let's see. Let's go with a small tool just to get the district started. Just want to clear that bit off there. It's a bit too much. Push it out a bit more. There we go. And if we make the district stop there, and there, there we go. So now we can add in this here as our new district. We'll push that up like that. zone this in. District-wise, anyway. I keep saying zoning in for various different things. It can get a bit confusing. I realise. Let's paint this in. There we go. And then this needs to come across a bit more. There we go. So that's roughly our kind of district there. Let's bring this down to the main road. It might be the easiest thing to do. So let's try and line up the road nice and straight. There we go. That's pretty good. Bring that along like that for now, and then do that. We don't need it to go all the way out onto the roundabout like that. There we go. So that kind of tidies that up a little bit. Just need to clean this edge up again. There we go. So we have Sterling Square is our newest district over here. Fantastic stuff. We also need to paint in a district over here as well. Let's make this a good sized district. So again, we can kind of start here. Paint across. I want to try and get it to come down without actually, well, they get close enough and they start to immediately tag that kind of gap between the road. So just to get rid of that horrible big kind of block. Again, we'll try and line up as straight as we can. There we go. That looks pretty straight. Just so we don't have that really thick dividing line as it runs down here. We'll do that. And then we'll push it up a bit more over here. Actually, I need to finish drawing it over here first, don't I? There we go. Now we won't have that issue. Really, really fiddly when you get down to it like this. And then just here, this one actually needs to come down just a touch. There we go, because I want the road to fall under a specific district. Actually, I can get away with doing it like that. That's probably a bit smoother, a bit better. Yeah, that works. It's quite a big district, this. But then it does need to be, I suppose. Again, let's try and square up as best we can, using the road as a guide. Yeah, that looks pretty straight. There we go. So we have our basic shape for Briarwood Heights, which is the new district. Damn it. Should have seen that coming. Never mind. Right, let's go back to small, just tidy that up again. go. Let's just take off the roundabout because there's no need for that to be there as part of the zoning. Just clean this edge up as well. That's where it gets tricky. Okay. That'll do. That's close enough. So Briarwood Heights is coming along. We're about to hit 75,000 people, which will be excellent. Just watching that number creeping up, and then as soon as it starts creeping up, it starts to drop ever so slightly. Still got a great demand here for industry / office. Let's see, can we get a bit more industry in over here? Well, yes we can. There's nothing to stop us from coming down this way. Can't really go too much further than that because of the railway. So we'll just have that for now. We'll zone that there. And there we go. That's 75,000 people. So that gives us access to... Actually, water. Have we got water? Yes. That gives us access to the airport and, more importantly... that tile. There we go. So, now... it can give me time to have a nice long think about how we want to expand down here and what we want to put in over here, and also where I want to put the airport as well. And I think probably the airport is probably best suited close to the freeway, so the airport's probably going to be somewhere over here in this area. Plus, if it's on higher ground, no risk of flooding it as well, which is always a good thing. At some point I am going to terraform the river a little bit. We were talking about terraforming the banks. It's also been suggested to me that because of the way the river is sculpted with this completely flat bed, that's part of the reason why I'm getting these weird lulls in the river level, and so I can try and fix that by terraforming that a little bit as well, creating some kind of channels and making more of a concave and more of a sloped riverbed. So hopefully that will help eliminate some of the issues that we're having. Plus, if I make it deeper in this section here as well, then again, when it does start flooding, we should be in better shape. It means we'll probably end up losing the effect of these waterfalls a little bit, but you know, if it stops the river from acting really weird like this and just draining itself constantly, then maybe that's not a bad thing. So, how are we looking over here in Briarwood Heights? I want to start adding in some of the Art Deco buildings over here as well. So let's go into the Art Deco stuff and start looking at some of these big skyscrapers. Let's put this one just here on this corner. What else do we have? Oh, wow, that thing is huge. Yeah, it's a bit too big. Oh, I like this one. This one looks cool. Oh, it won't fit on the end. Oh, that's frustrating. But it will sit quite nicely just there. Nice. A little bit of variety here with some of these buildings that we're dropping in. What else can we stick in? What's this? Nanotechnology Centre. Well, we've got to put another TV studio in, won't we? Let's drop a TV studio in just over here, I think. Oh, it won't let me. Building already exists. You can only have one. Okay. Software development studio. be interesting. That would have a big impact on that area as well. Semiconductor plants, Robotics Institute. That's kind of cool. Although it does go on the connect to the road in a weird way. Yeah, let's plonk that just there. Very funky. And we've got a research centre. This thing's quite big, isn't it? Let's try a research centre over here. See if we can find a good spot for it. Something that will dramatically improve the leisure in this block. An electric car factory. Now that makes sense to have that over here in our manufacturing area. It's a little bit too big to stick there because of the I'm wary of the roads, but can I squeeze it in somewhere over here perhaps? I'll tell you what I could do. I take that out. Put the road there like that. There we go. We can have our electric car factory there in the heart of our industry sector. And that should help upgrade these buildings a little bit, perhaps. Giving them a little bit of a boost. Put a plaza on the corner of it as well. Just there. See, that one is having an effect while the factory didn't. That's odd. Let's drop in something along here if we can, near the hospital. Put a couple of those parks with trees in, side by side. That gives that a nice big boost. So it's just this little corner bit here and that little corner bit there that aren't really well covered. And then over here, yeah, we definitely need something else over here. Let's go with a different type of plaza if we can. Trying to find one that's not going to, you know, destroy huge sections of the landscape. I think that's probably the best I'm going to do just there. Oh, there we go. Instant little transformation for that section. What do we have over here in Sergeant Heights? This is all office, isn't it? So they could do with a plaza of some kind. Let's drop a plaza just there. Needs to be more options for plazas. I think there's only really those two. I mean, the Paradox one's okay, but it's not great. Some more options would be better, I think. This is where the lack of mods on PS4 really does, let us down in terms of the variety of stuff we can put in. It's great for the small build, for small towns and small cities. It doesn't really matter, because you don't tend to duplicate too much in the small ones. But when you start building something big, then you very quickly start just duplicating and replicating everything that you've already got in there, and it becomes very hard to give a lot of individual districts their own individual character when they all use the same assets over and over again. Like here, I mean, I can drop that massive park in there and it's going to look really good, and it's going to help Stirling Square out immensely. But it's just the same generic park that we've got dotted across our city in a lot of different places. But it has triggered a little wave of upgrades, as you can see. Again, I'm going to stick a Paradox Plaza in over here for our offices. Stick it here on the corner, perhaps. No. Stick it there. Yeah, there we go. That works. That gives that area a nice little boost as well. What is this over here? Holly Heights. Oh, that's a mini industry area, isn't it? Some more industry over there. Okay. Big lack of stuff over here. I like the idea of a skate park over here, perhaps. Question is finding the right spot. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, that works just there. Excellent stuff. How's our new district coming along? Well, that's zoned in quite quickly, and now we're starting to get a demand for more residential look. So let's go into... we still don't have monuments yet, do we? We have got some more unique buildings we can drop in though now. The driving range was something I wanted to stick in the city. It was just a question of where. I think maybe on that corner slope is an issue. Here it would work. Let's stick a driving range in just there. We should be able to see people hitting some golf balls as well. Yep. We don't see any golf balls up here, which is probably that's too much a level of detail that would just cause, an unnecessary drain on processing power to see golf balls appearing down there. But that's kind of cool. I like that. What else can we drop in, building wise? Oh, we still need the stadium as well, don't we? I like the idea of the stadium being somewhere over here, but until the train line is sorted out, I can't really put the stadium in. But I like the idea of it being up on this area just here. So I want there to be good rail access and metro access and potentially monorail access. So we've got 3 different transport methods all feeding to the stadium, so we can get some really good attendances. What else can we drop in? A posh mall. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, it won't fit. Despite our spacing, it still won't fit. What about if I try and drop it on that corner? I'd have to rework the slope a little bit. I can do that. Let's do that now. Just push that round a bit more. Okay, there we go. So Posh Mall sits just there. Very funky. We need a courthouse. Again, that's not going to fit either. I don't think. No. Okay, well, we don't want to drop too many of these in because we need to keep some of these available for when we, work on the other side of the river again. The library, will the library fit? No, that's not going to fit either. Again, we're just one square short. That's frustrating. Pyramid of Safety. Well, that does fit. Just going to plonk this in here for now. We may end up relocating this, but I just want to see, what it looks like when it's actually down and placed. Ooh, very snazzy. Trying to make out what's down there. Can't really tell. Oh, unless this is a water facility, to help. I don't know, does that help deal with flood water? Does that say emergency shelter? Oh, it's an emergency. Ah! I wonder. No, it's just a building. It doesn't have the emergency shelter options for planning routes and stuff. So it's a visual shelter, but it doesn't actually function as one. That's a bit of a shame. A little disappointed by that. That roundabout, I think, is not big enough. I think we might need to increase that in size. And here we are having those queues there, look, as I was worried about. So we're going to take that junction out. Which means I need to relocate this. Now that we've just plonked it in. Yeah, that roundabout definitely needs to be made bigger. Right, that's something for me to do between episodes, I think. Because for now, we need to add in some more subscriber names. So, just pull up the list. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, my laptop's really laggy. I've got too many windows open, too many things going at the same time. There we go, subscriber requests. That's the file. So while that's opening, let's just take a quick pan around our new area here. Do like that big skyscraper building there. Reminds me a little bit of Ghostbusters. A little bit. As does this one. I like the shape as well, it's kind of cool. Traffic is all looking to turn in, or go straight on by the look of it. Okay, let's try and improve lane priority a little bit, perhaps. Nope. Wow, roundabout's getting really busy. Yeah, we definitely need to resize that. Okay, so let's see. We've had another request for a station, this time from Mark Tabera, as requesting a station name. So let's see. Let's do our new station. Let's rename this one. So we'll rename this. I was looking at my keyboard and I've moved it out of the way. I can't find it. Let's do it with the joypad instead. So we'll call this the Tabera Hub. There we go. And that's our rail, metro and monorail connection just there. And I'll also rename the road as well. So let's rename this. Wow, Pearl Street is that all Pearl Street? That is all Pearl Street. Okay, we need to change that. That shouldn't be Pearl Street there. What is going on with these road names? There we go. That's the that's the way it should be. That's still showing as Piper Street. Oh no, this is now Pearl Street. Okay, that's fine. Let's rename this. To Tabera Road. There we go, just in front of the station there. Okay, so I'll need to kind of play around with the rest of the road names in here at some point. But there we go, that is the end of another episode. So we've started really developing this area quite substantially. We've unlocked a new tile. We've made a few changes to our roads a little bit to try and accommodate some traffic. I have some tinkering that needs to be done between episodes, specifically the roundabout. And you know, we've really improved the leisure rating in a lot of our areas. So I think all in all a pretty productive episode, and I'll hope that you'll join me again for another episode of JBPG City on our City Skylines mass transit playthrough here on the PS4 very soon.